cracked all the flywheels bolts with my 14mm 12 point, I think it's 14. Yeah, it is 14. I cracked them all with the breaker bar first, and then I just rattled them off. These bolts are a one-time use only, apparently. Apparently they stretch once they've been torqued. Alright, so I might get rid of my little jig here, jiggy, and yeah, it should come off. With a bit of wobbling, it came off. So there are 12mm, there's 3 of them off. No, that's for my piston. Yeah, okay, there's 3 of them in there. Let's see if I can... I'll try and tilt it a little bit. Oh jeez. So they're pretty much just 1, 2 and 3. They're not actually that tight anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to crack these 3 and then my outside ones, which I'll point out to you. Should be another 3 just here. 1, 2, 3. And there'll be a 4th one up here as well. Go ahead and crack them. Probably could be using a bit of WD, actually. That would be a fantastic idea. It's too late for those ones though. I've got 5 more on the other side though, which I just sprayed, so I should take that off too, I really should. Yeah, I'll crack these first though. So there's 2 here, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Should be good. Actually, I have to take that off in order to get to a bolt that's underneath there, apparently. I think that's the case anyway. This. Oh, it's enough. There we go. That's a big bit. Maybe I should have checked that before I went to Bunnings. Oh, absolutely. What is? Who owns Allen keys that big? Oh, that's the biggest one I have. Okay, so I couldn't find, or I actually probably don't own an Allen key big enough for this part here. This is the biggest one I have, and it is it's a 10mm. I might have a 12mm, but and that'd probably be perfect. But it's gone astray. Anyway, so that doesn't fit. I tried shimming it out just so I had a bit more width on it, but that didn't work. So I went back to the multi-grips and I tried very carefully not to damage the thread here. I may have a little bit. I probably should have put a rag in between there. If I could go back in time and do that, I would. But anyway, it wasn't that tight, and yeah. Okay, it's not. Still not over. Okay. So that should come out now, which is good news. So that's out, and there's the final bolt underneath there. Yep, still a 12mm. That's our last one. We should be able to pull this crankcase off. Might need some needle nose pliers again for this one. Okay, there you go. already we have different sizes, so fair enough too. I should be able to just look at it and know that there's a different size there. I'm just going to lay them out on the floor actually, in the same order that I'm taking them off in. Yeah, so I'm going to lay them out in the same order that I've taken them off in, and I'm going to remember that order by, because I started with the one that was under this. So I'm going to put that next to it in my little order here, and then I'm going to take a photo. That way I can put them all in the same bag, and hopefully not have any dramas in the long run. It was the groove. Son of a bitch. And there's the other one. Okay, that's pretty cool. Good thing to know, there's a groove here, and there's a groove on the other side at about 8 o'clock from where the coolant goes in or out. It's like just under the water pump. Cool. Should be it. And it is. Yeah, I'm just going to take this outside and run a bit of degreaser through it.
Girls on the avenue, they're trying to get you in, strolling by with a rosebud smile. They're all dressed up to kill, lean on the windowsill, looking your way with eyes of fire. Don't you slip, don't you slip in love with the girls on the avenue. Friday night, see the girls on the avenue. Like a child at big store windows, you feel confused. So many girls on the avenue. On the avenue, know how to get you in, casting out stars like tricks from a hat. All the Miss Lonely Hearts.
What I've done since I stopped recording last time is I've removed the crankshaft and all the pistons on both of the engines. I've painted this one, as hopefully you'll be able to tell that it doesn't look anything like that one. So that's pretty cool. That's the black valve cover that goes with it, and timing chain cover. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is I'm just doing a few clearance checks with the pistons and the piston rings, because I would like to use the pistons from the 05 1NZ, which was an automatic actually, and they look a lot better. The rings are in better condition, and just the overall piston, I know it looks a little bit dodgy there, but Overall, it's a lot better than the other ones that came out of the 03 engine. So I want to swap them over. I've got to do the clearance on the bearings as well. I might just swap the bearings over. Actually, yeah, probably do that. I'll swap the bearings. These are the 05 ones. I've leaded the 05 ones and I've numbered the 03 ones. So I'll swap out the bearings from the numbered ones to the leaded ones, so that way I can use the leaded ones with the 03 crank. I could swap the crank over completely and swap the whole crankshaft, rod and piston assembly over, but then I'd have to do the clearancing on the journal bearings for the crank, and that just seemed more nightmarish to me than the ones on the rods. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, so the book's sort of, it's had me second guessing reality. In the picture, it's got the little dot here, the little dent, you might want to call it, the little, like what you'd see on a golf ball, which indicates which side it needs to be on. In our case, it indicates the direction of the timing chain. Okay, so this is my left, so I'm going to say it as if it was me. On my left is where the dot is. In the book, the dot's on the same side as my side, like it's all working out, except the bigger cutouts for the intake valves are on the other side. Now that doesn't work. I don't understand now. Everything I've been led to believe is a lie. So I'm not sure if I should put it on the opposite side now, or... because that's ridiculous. What do I do? Nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna have the dots the same side, because I know that's the intake side. Oh, that's what I don't get. It's like everything's been flipped around. That's bullshit. This is so confusing. What I've got here is the alignment that they're talking about for the piston rings. I'm just gonna put it up, the piston, in the same way that the piston's shown here. Oh, sorry. With the intake sides at the top and the exhaust at the bottom. And you tell me, well, you don't have to, you can just look and observe where the dot is in reality. It's on the other side, isn't it? I'm not crazy. Okay, so we're going to put our piston rings on our pistons. Our top piston compression ring is going to go up here where my pointer finger is doing a tapping motion right now. And the second compression ring is going to go down here where my thumb is doing a tapping motion. So they're on opposite sides. And same with the oil control rings. They go on opposite sides but opposing each other here and here. And the expander, the actual oil, the wavy part, goes up here with compression ring number 1. We'll work from the bottom up. The gap is up here, where you want it. Sort of where this part just tapers off. It's like just halfway between the top and the bottom of that little scoop that it's got there. So to put this on, I'm just gonna, this is only for the oil control rings. I'm gonna put in one side like that, the rest of the rings up the top here, and I'm just gonna work it around with my other thumb. I'm holding it in place here, and with this thumb I'm just gonna bring it down and around, down and around and around, and that slides into place nicely. It finishes roughly where this line is actually. Now the next one's sort of tricky. These get pretty tight. Now obviously when these go in, the gap, they can't overlap each other, it just needs to butt into each other. Now the position of that one, so if you can sort of hold it there and then get the oil expansion ring, or whatever they like to call it, so sort of just make sure that gap's there-ish. It'll need some fine tweaking, and then do the same thing again. It'll be tighter, and just gently, or with a little bit of persuasion, which this one will need. I might actually put them over each side first, just so it's not at an angle and harder to get in, just so it's a little bit easier. Okay, now I've already started to get it in. I'm just gonna have to drag it around a little bit more, just because it's not where I want it to be, and I can slowly push it in. It's so tricky doing this and filming it. You're gonna have to have a good look up my shorts here for me to be able to comfortably film and do this. I mean, it isn't comfortable, but you know. Okay, now we're sort of getting somewhere. Now it's in an overlapping position. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but just at this point here, it's overlapping. So I'm gonna try and hold everything with this thumb so that it's not rotating as much. And I'm just gonna try and, without rotating everything. This is such a fuck around job. Yeah, that'll do. Fuck it. Yeah. Yeah, nah, fuck it. I don't care anymore. There we go. They're now butting into each other. So now I'm going to get my second oil control ring. I don't know if you can see, but my gap is here, about where my thumb is. And so the gap on the top side needs to be on the opposite side, which is just a little bit past that groove. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do that now. Now everything will sort of move together, so you don't have to play around too much, but it can be a headache, and it was for me on the other one. But I'm just doing that, bringing down and around thingo again, hoping that it actually goes in like so. Now I'm going to put my second compression ring on. Now these will spin around, so it's not crucial right now to have them aligned, because it's going to move. It's something you want to do as you're putting the piston in the bore. So my second compression ring, number 4, which is the other side of the exhaust side. So it'll finish up being roughly around there. But what I'm going to do to put them on is I'm going to grab them in my, like where the gap is, I'm going to put my nails from my thumb in there to pry them apart. I'm going to put my middle finger on the underside of that edge, and my pointers on top, like so, and I'm going to pull them out and put them over the piston. Alright. Cool. And then, yeah, so I'm just going to gently, and I'm not twisting, absolutely no twisting, and I'm trying to put it over the piston as straight and even as possible. This is the second one, so we're going to go to our, oh Jesus, to our second ring, if we can find it, like so.